to Extravaganza Daddy.
The world is Uganda. Africa is connected. Uganda is getting informed, and information is power. A very warm welcome to Talk to Extravaganza Daddy Show, our dear esteemed viewers. I believe you are watching a rare test of a discussion that will inspire you the more. My name is Extravaganza Daddy. In today's episode, I host a very eminent guest. His name is General MUGISHA MUNTU, a Ugandan politician and, of course, a retired officer of the army, the current president of Alliance for National Transformation, and a founder. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take the grand golden opportunity to give our today's guest the latitude of giving you the greetings at this very moment, and we begin the serious business. A very warm welcome, General MUGISHA MUNTU, to Talk to Extravaganza Daddy Show.
Thank you.
Greetings to the viewers.
I greet you all who are spending your time to watch this program. Thank you for sacrificing your time. I'm the founding leader of Alliance for National Transformation, but the current leader is Honorable Alice Alaso. Because our constitution requires that the moment you decide to run, for example, for the presidency, you relinquish party leadership, because we want to build the party as an institution. This country, people have been banned for 60 years. Most parties are built around individuals. We want to avoid that. I just wanted to make that observation.
All right, thank you so much. General MUGISHA MUNTU, I have not heard you congratulate General Muhoozi Kainerugaba for his recent appointment as the Chief of Defense Forces Uganda. And of course, this is a very fundamental step in his career as a young general. And what could be your view about the current, of course, appointments in the army today?
Well, there's no way I would make congratulatory gestures on an appointment which to me I believe is a promotion of lawlessness. Because I hope the country recognizes that in the last 1 year or so, we've been seeing an exhibition of lawlessness. And the commander-in-chief never paid attention to the voices that were pointing out the law, that no army officer in uniform should participate in politics. He ignored that, of course, showing his attitude about the Ugandan people and our laws. Basically showing that he looks at all of us with contempt. And then when that project, for whatever reason, has not taken off, then he switches General Muhoozi from that and elevates him to the CDF. How on earth would I, promote that? It basically means I'd be promoting lawlessness. He may look at us with contempt, but there are those of us who have got confidence in ourselves, trust in ourselves. We recognize that we have got a country of 45 million people. General MUSEVENI may forget and maybe think that he's a god. He is not.
He's not a god.
He is not. So whatever he does, he's exercising power. He can literally do whatever he wants to do, as he still does. But he forgets the questions of time. Times keep unfolding. And let's keep watching.
General, if today you were to be appointed in any position in this current government, would you abandon the struggle you are in today and rejoin this government?
If I turned out an appointment, 98, when things were a little bit better than now, on earth would I go into a ship that is literally sinking, which unfortunately most people don't seem to see. For most people, they think that the moment there's a government, they can see it visibly. They think that that's all. This country is really in a crisis. And those who are mature enough recognize that. So we'll keep doing what we are doing ourselves. One, to build our capabilities, to be able to manage this country better. At any time when it becomes opportune for us to take power. Also to keep building our capabilities and participate in managing this country as it goes through a transition. Because, you know, it's going to be a very delicate process. And there's going to be a need for a number of things. Focus, discipline, skills, and maturity in applying a number of things that will need to be applied when a number of dynamics keep unfolding as I see them unfolding. And therefore will not be distracted by what General MUSEVENI does. But there are times when a country reaches a point of change and the leader can't do much. It happens all the time, those who read history, even now in the contemporary period. You see people who are thought to be so powerful and you get a point where the country gets into a state of crisis and you see the powerlessness of those who are thought to be powerful.
You mean...
And in points like those, you need sanity in the political realm because the country can disintegrate. The country can implode. See what's happening in Sudan. Who would want to be in a situation like Sudan is? But who thought it was going to be like that when Bashir was in charge? Everybody thought he was totally in charge. What happened?
You mean there will be a time when things will be out of hand in this country?
We hope it doesn't reach that point. But in the event that it does, there are those of us who are always wanting to prepare. You prepare for the worst case scenario. If it doesn't happen, you thank God. But if it does, at least there are those who are prepared to apply human effort to the extent that is possible to manage a situation that doesn't deteriorate the point of a country getting into, you know, an implosion.
Now, when someone hears you make such comments,
yes,
one would believe when you parted ways with MUSEVENI, you had personal issues at your level. And now...
There have not been any personal issues.
Now, when you go the way you have gone, you are calling upon the public domain to come and join you to fight your personal matters. Could it be like that?
What would be personal? Nothing was ever personal. We never quarreled over anything personal. So it's been management of power, how to manage power.
So
the foundation of managing power, the values that we need to follow, what we promised, what we are doing. Because if you promise one thing and do another, once that becomes the source of contradiction, the point of separation, it ceases to be personal.
So there is misuse of power.
Absolutely. I mean, for example, the turning point to me was when they amended the Constitution. For 2004. I knew there were a number of mistakes that had been made. He appointed me a minister in 98. I turned it down. I knew there were already problems, but at the same time, I knew that every government can make mistakes. So I always gave them the benefit of doubt. And I would always tell them, if you turn direction, we'll work together. You continue the same path, we're going to reach a point of separation. Behind the scenes, I would keep alerting them. 2004, when they changed the Constitution, I knew that we had reached a point of no return. Because that was a constitutional mechanism, a safety valve, you know, where you know that you cannot hit a crisis. Because once you hit that point, then one leader leaves, another one comes in. So there is a fresh beginning in that regard. It has helped many African countries. When that was tampered with, that was it.
General, wouldn't you have kept in government to solve some of the matters that were erupting, things that had gone wrong, other than first parting ways and creating your own party?
I have no regrets. What we are doing is worth, since that time, the building process that we engaged in.
So you mean there was no...
Because even those who remain there, why are we in a crisis? Why have they not turned around the situation?
So there is no freedom of expression when you keep in government?
Well, I recognized then that those of us who could speak from within were not expanding in numbers. And more people who were there were simply keeping quiet to survive. As there are many now who don't agree with what is happening in the government. But they keep quiet so as to survive. So I thought the best way to move on was to go outside, keep on raising our voices on issues which we thought needed to be done, and then we rally around common objectives outside of government. And I really feel gratified that we've moved the way we have done, and we keep moving. And I know there's going to be a time when everybody looks back and say, okay, these guys made the right decision. That always happens.
General, when I actually tickle something you just commented about, you said lawlessness in this country.
Yeah.
Now, I would love to pose a question. Have laws played a primary role in promoting democracy, or laws have promoted dictatorship in this country?
Well, General MUSEVENI disregards the law. He manipulates it any way he wants. And I think that's the biggest dilemma that we have. Because if the law are not protected by those whom the law serves, we find that most of the political elite, a significant number of the political elite don't have the stamina yet to stand and say, this is the right way, and we're not going to change from this, and stand by that. Because like the changing of the constitution, we could have resisted in Chankwanzi, Parliament could have resisted, and now the trajectory of this country that it would have taken would be completely different. But that the significant number of the political elite simply want to survive. The struggle continues until we build a critical number to shift the balance of forces in favor of those who want to operate by the law. Right now, we don't have it yet. That's where the contest is. General MUSEVENI knows how to manipulate people, and he just manipulates the law as he wants, and they fall along. Majority of the political elite, look at what's happening in Parliament. But a struggle to shift that balance is on, and it's always a natural process. You have to keep fighting until you shift the balance of forces in your favor when you are disenchanted with any status quo. That's what happens. That's how societies change. That's how societies transform. Yeah, that's why we keep out there speaking and speaking and speaking, and we can't give up. Because the more you speak, the more people who agree with what you are saying, the more they keep coming out slowly and adding in numbers. And then you always reach that point, the turning point. You always get to that as long as there are people who are ready to speak and to organize. That's what we do. We speak, we organize. We speak, we organize. Yeah.
That's important. Now, what I would also ask is, what sacrifice must all Ugandans offer in the transformation of the political culture here in this country?
Values. People must accept that you get what you put in. Or as the Bible says, whatever a man sows, so shall he reap. So all of us must ask ourselves, what kind of country do we need to see? You hear many people complaining about what they don't want. Maybe they should change and start asking themselves, what do we want? Because they are complaining against what they don't want. They don't want corruption. When you don't want corruption, then you want transparency. If you don't like dishonesty, that means you need honesty. There's no way you're going to get honesty in governance, get transparency in governance, get observation of the principle of equality before the law in governance, unless you have the people who stand for those values. Which means, therefore, that you must organize, get all those who believe in that. They build together at different levels. Like in our case, in building a party. You build them at the village, at the parish, at the sub-county, at the district, on a nationwide scale. So when you've got a significant number of them all over the country, a party like that, when it takes power, then it will deliver according to those values. If a country does not achieve that through any party, will remain in the vicious cycle. It doesn't matter which party would be in power. That's the bottom line. Nobody is going to escape that.
No one is going to escape.
Nobody. There's no way you can have out of 10 politicians in positions of power, if 8 are greedy, driven by greed, And therefore, they don't care about building institutions to check them. There's no way you can fight corruption and succeed.
There is no way.
None. Unless people don't sit down and think about this thing. It's just simply not possible. I mean, how are you going to have people who are, for example, corrupt, if out of 10, 8 are corrupt? You tell me how they go and run a transparent government, regardless of which party it is, whether it is party A, B, C, D, whatever, even if there are 100 parties. So a party's value systems is important.
Systems?
Yes. Nobody is going to fix this country unless the parties are fixed. Because it is the parties that fix the politics. A party will give you what it has. If a party has got a significant number of the dominant force, the dominant influence in a party is towards corruption, they will be corrupt. If the dominant force in a party is about people who want transparency, that party will build transparency in a country. So people are focusing on the country, they are not focusing on the parties.
On the parties that determine.
And the parties are the vehicles of governance. They are the ones which govern.
They determine the direction of the country.
Constitutionally, that's what it still is, unless it is changed. If we were to change the constitution and say an NGO can run a government, yes, then it will be a different vehicle. But as long as the current constitution remains that parties are the ones which will vie for power and form governments, it is the parties that have got to be fixed.
Parties must be fixed.
You fix the party and then the party fixes governance. It's not the other way around. I simply can't understand how people don't think about these things deeply.
Could it be the packaging of the message?
No, it's a simple thing. Everybody should be able to understand this, but people don't pay attention to politics, unfortunately.
People have chosen to ignore politics.
Yes, and they are banned all the time.
Now, the effects of ignoring politics.
Yes.
What are the effects of?
They are being banned all the time because you hear people crying.
Crying over what?
Oh, yeah, they are like, now Kampala is shut. Taxes, business people are crying all over the place. You know, people go to hospitals, there are no drugs. People are crying of corruption. Nobody got, court systems, police, corruption everywhere. Because people are not paying attention to politics.
Now, that brings us to a point of...
Yes.
They're out in the public domain. There is a section of people that says Museveni must stay in power. Now, there are those that say Museveni must go now. In a very special message, what package do you have for the people who say Museveni must stay in power, and what package message do you have for the people who say Museveni must leave?
Those who say Museveni must stay in power have a deep problem of understanding.
Has it come to that?
And they're also not homogeneous. They're not all uniform. There are those who say it when they believe it. Out of 10, those who say it when they believe it, you don't get more than 3, 4. About 6, 7 of those who he must say it publicly. Privately, you find them complaining. Yeah.
Those who say...
Many are there because they are looking at the, Museveni is being in power as a bandwagon, a gravy train. They just want to be on a gravy train, and to the extent that they're able to grab something from there. Yeah. Some have given up. But some of them don't even care about the country. They just care about themselves, as long as they can shout and maybe someone becomes another DC or maybe someone gets some small contract here and there. That's their attitude, most of them. Yeah.
But
people who want easy gains. Not knowing that when a country implodes, then you can really hit a problem where a country, I've seen countries that go down, start picking pieces together to put them together. Why? Because they are looking at easy today. What do I eat today? They don't look at medium, long-term things. You know. Therefore, most people don't care about possibly the outcomes of their short-sighted decisions. You know.
Then now, those who say he must go,
yeah,
what do you have for them?
Organize. You must keep organizing. You must not lose hope. But also, don't look at his exit, because that's not the most critical. Because exiting, he'll exit whether he wants or not. That's inevitable. The issue is, any group which goes in there, is it going to be different? That's where we have to concentrate. That's where we, as Alliance for National Transformation, concentrate. Because we know for sure that General MUSEVENI is exiting. We may not put our finger on the day as day follows night. The issue is, we want to be better. We want to do different. We want to consistently show that the resolution of the problems of this country lie in having value-driven leaders. That's what we concentrate on building. And I know by God's grace we will succeed in that. Yes.
That seems so near, that MUSEVENI must go and is soon leaving. It seems near.
I mean, even when you watch.
Now,
those who, I mean, internally, those who are within the governance system themselves will tell you, you know, biology catches up with every human being.
now, you see, some of the people from the opposition side have literally resorted to praying to the Almighty that he should do something that is natural and biological. Now, to a certain extent, it feels like the opposition has run out of ideas. Now, they are opting for God to end this business. They are no longer having what to put on table.
No, our thinking first in spiritual terms is that we don't just resort to God as a last means of, you know. In everything we do, we are guided by God. For us as Alliance for National Transformation. So it is not like you give up and therefore you go to God. No, in everything we do. Because we are trying to transform this country. And we know that to get people who have the resolve to stand all nature of pressure, but care more for the people, for the country. That's our focus. Get value-driven leaders. That's godly character. So we are not shy about that. We want people of godly character, people who are honest, people who are transparent, people who want to unite rather than divide. So we're not shy about that. And we keep building. Because, you see, if we are to give up, we'll just be only talking. We keep organizing. We keep building. And we have the trust that we can transform this country. And we know that we will, at some point, take power in this country. And we will do things in such a manner that people can start regaining trust in themselves. To know that, you know, God gave us the God-created capabilities in every human being. To do what is just. To do what is right by others. To have the capability to do service to others. You also benefit. But you don't go into a situation where you look at yourself first and foremost, and then you say everybody will be taken care of by God.
Now,
because that's the thing I see here. Everybody wants to take care of himself, and they say, okay, God will take care of everybody else.
Now, as a youth, you championed a government change struggle at the age of 23. And you became a serving army commander at the age of 29. In your youthful days, you played your part. And even up today, you're still on the forefront. How can the Ugandan youth be important to its country from the youthful days, from the inception of their youthful days, being important like you were important.
The young people need to look for where there are opportunities for growth and where they know they are going to be in an environment that gives them opportunities to grow in a positive way, to grow their character. And without having any doubt in my mind, Alliance for National Transformation offers that kind of opportunity. If there are youth out there who really want to become great in character, Alliance for National Transformation is the place to be.
So that is the only advice you give them?
Yeah. Those who want to go into politics, those who may scan around and they don't see any party, they can scan and go in any party they want to go to, first and foremost, depending on what their ultimate objectives are. There are those who may want to go into parties because they simply want to go into power. They can look for a party where they think they can go. There are therefore, who can go in NRM because it's in power. They don't even have to struggle. So it depends on what they think. But if you think that you really want to have an opportunity to grow yourself, you look for a party where you see leaders who are going to create that environment to groom young leaders. If they scan the environment, they find all parties which are on the scene are not to their liking. They can form a party. Form a party and build, keep struggling until the time when they succeed to take power. You know? Majority of the youth now are under, the majority of the population is under 35 years, I think, and below are 75% of the population. So literally the opportunities are vast. They can build influence literally everywhere they are, in every activity, in business, in agriculture, in industry, in education, in politics. So wherever they are, they just have to focus on developing their leadership skills, their management skills.
Currently, you are on a trip traversing Western Uganda.
Yeah.
In areas of Bunyangabu, and you are moving to areas of Hoima, something like that. Now, in Western Uganda, more especially here in the Rwenzori region and Toro,
yes.
Biggest problem that has been perturbing the natives living this side of Uganda is the ADF. Yeah. Now, of recent, there was a recruitment of the LDUs. Now, the question is, can LDU recruitment actually kick out the problem of ADF that has affected the people in those areas?
Hopefully UPDF succeeds in routing ADF in Congo. If they manage to fully neutralize them in Congo, then ADF would be no more.
So the main problem is in Congo?
Of course. There's no way it would survive inside Uganda. That's why their survival has always been in running into an area where they had literally free range to do whatever they wanted to do. So one hopes that UPDF will be able to succeed to fully neutralize them in Congo. Yeah.
What's your package for the people you are meeting in Western Uganda, in the areas you have specifically chosen to go?
We encourage leaders in the West to recognize that this country deserves change and also deserves to have a time, first time ever, to have leaders transfer power peacefully. And the West is an area where if there is maturity in all leaders, including those in NRM, once they take a stand, it can push General MUSEVENI to a point where he manages a smooth transition. We've never had any smooth transition in this country. Every time it is always violent. And it's not worth it. General MUSEVENI has done whatever he has done. He has made so many mistakes, but it's a point when he needs to let go. only the West can send such a strong signal that he relinquishes power. Only the West can play a significant role. The western part of the country. Question of how he manipulates the rest of the country. He consolidates the West and then creates an environment where the rest of the country think that as long as the West is still with him, there's nothing we're going to do. But as that happens, the rest of the country is angry about the West because they think everything is coming in the West. They think that they're having problems because of the West. Now, looking at history, where every time a leader leaves power in an unpeaceful way, the area where he comes from is the one which pays the price. That has happened every time. That's why the West needs to wake up, and wake up fast. Because if General Museveni leaves power in an unpeaceful way, the West will pay a price. So unless the leaders here are so stupid, they need to understand that. And leaders in the West, therefore, are the ones who would be working day and night to ensure that there's a smooth transition. Because change of power in an unpeaceful way, they should understand the cost involved in that. I can't understand how people can't think about that.
Now, there are rumors that we shall see a transition of power from one family member to another family member.
That's another stupid thing. People in the West should know that. What does that mean to the rest of the country?
But people are scared.
Scared about what?
When they are scared because of history.
Yes.
That before this government coming into power,
yes,
there was a lot of bloodshed, a lot of impunity.
Yes.
Now, that when this government goes out of power, there
yes,
will be a total bloodshed, a real crisis. So people are stuck to a tradition
yes,
of when this government changes, there will be no life ahead.
When power changes peacefully, there's always no problem for bloodshed. There's the only problem if power is mismanaged, and then you want to hang on to it by force. Eventually something gives, and you still have to leave.
General, conclusively, last words.
People should just really reflect deeply. Politics is a serious business. Politics is about, issues of life and death.
It's life and death.
Yes, because when power is mismanaged, people die.
Politics
we
is
had people dying in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, because the war ended like the Konyi War ended in the late 90s, basically when he ran into Sudan, all that. So how can people not seriously think about how do we avoid violent changes? How do we avoid implosions? That's why I would be concentrating rather than to say let's hang on to this guy.
Thank you,
you don't solve a problem by hang on to wrong.
Now, our dear esteemed viewers of Talk to Extravaganza Daddy Show, it's really been an honor having our eminent guest today, and by the name of General MUGISHA MUNTU. And of course, the world has been Uganda, Africa connected, Uganda getting information, and of course, like always, information is power. And of course, this show is proudly powered by Farida Collection. Mautu Munga Wabariki. General, thank you so very much.
Welcome.
Talk to Extravaganza Daddy.